What's new with you, Royce?
It's been a frustrating week for me.
Yeah.
It really has, with working and everything. And I did my DiSC, and I got frustrated, and I just was putting anything, and I got them all wrong. And then I can't do this. I cannot do this. Let's go back. And I just completed it. Everybody had left, so I went back on and I completed, and I got it all right. I'm like, that's the way to go.
That's right. Man.
So I felt good because at first I'm like, I can't do this. I can't do this, right? And I can't. And no, it's not. I can't. We're gonna do it. And I had to take a deep breath and everything. So I feel good that I passed the quizzes and everything, and that I got it done.
Well, you know what? That you've been playing like a champion.
Oh, yes.
I told you that very early on, and you keep up the great work. Hi, Vinny. Good to see you. Frank, so you know we cannot see you. Okay, who else has something exciting, good news, or news that you'd like to share? Come on, you guys. You got to be kidding me.
I have news, but it's not super good. I guess it's good and bad.
Go ahead.
We had a mishap with one of our repair shops. It's a well-known one. And they did a pretty shoddy job and charged us a lot of money to do it. So I had my first experience kind of confronting them, calling them out on their crappy job. And they did end up crediting us almost over half the labor, so that was good.
Good for you.
It was not a very fun experience.
I don't know what's going on with my webcam. Apparently it likes me to be closer. Well, it sounds like it was a bad situation, but you did a good job intervening.
Yeah, it was. I learned a lot. That's the first time I've ever had to do anything like that. So
nice.
Yeah.
All right.
I have some good news.
Yay, Hayden, what?
So yesterday we went to our kickoff meeting for the new city contract that we had just been awarded. So we got to meet with the public works manager, the city manager, and just go over sweeping schedules and, you know, the whole operation. And so we introduced our management team to them, and that was my first kickoff meeting with the city. So it was a very good experience.
Yeah, it's a pretty big deal. That's a big contract, isn't it?
This one is on the smaller side, but it is a municipality, so it's important.
Yeah.
So.
Well, they're all important. They all add to it. Welcome, Nick.
Hello.
Nick, do you have any good news for this week?
No, only bad news.
No way.
We had a rough week. It's been a rough week.
Yeah. It's been reported. It must have been the moon was not in the 7th house and Jupiter was not aligned with Mars this week because everybody's had a rough one.
Yeah, I think everybody's had good news this week. We all still have jobs.
It's true.
Yep.
Although I bet almost everybody on this call has wanted to quit their job at least once this week, right? Latasha, you got anything going on you want to share?
I woke up this morning.
There you go. Got yourself dressed, fed yourself. Those are all
better than the alternative.
No, actually, I just ate. Just ate.
Oh, please. That's not a good sign.
No.
All right. So I want to see if there's any questions you have about the easy generator from this week that we need to address before we move forward. I had a conversation with Kevin. He pointed out that the videos were repeating, and I sent out an email, and as well I fixed that. I made note of it on the online program. But any other things that we need to know about, answer, give you information on? No? How hard was this particular module?
Not hard.
Not hard? You said that, Lois?
No, that was
No?
Stacy.
Oh, Stacy, it wasn't hard.
I didn't think so, unless I didn't finish it all.
It wasn't hard. It was just you have to take your time and actually read. That's what I got from it.
Yeah, yeah.
When
One
I
of
was
the-
doing mine, I didn't sign out. So when I went back to try to do it again, it was not saved, the whole thing that I did. So I was like,
Oh no.
it's not saving. Yeah. So I had to do it again, the whole thing.
Oh geez, I don't know why that happened. I've never had anybody tell me that before.
Yeah.
You're going to be teaching the class then after you do it a second time.
Yeah.
It does that you've made progress on the thing. By the way, everybody, I do check a couple times a week to see how people are doing on that. So if I poke you and ask you what's going on, it's not because I'm second guessing you. It's just because I want to make sure nobody's having issues like the one you just described. And I'm sorry that happened, and I appreciate you going through it. Okay.
Plus, we like poking people.
I love poking people.
Hey, before we get started, did anybody like have like a glitch or something where you know all the answers are correct, but they tell you they're wrong anyway?
Oh yeah, I did.
That
I did
happened
too.
once to me.
Okay, because
Well, so when that happens, please let me know. Does anybody know which questions that were? Where that happened?
Mine was for the C style.
Yeah, there
It
was
for the C style. Yeah.
there was one where it asked for 10 questions and it only had 9 questions.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
asked for 10 questions and it only had 9 questions. Is that the
Yes.
C style?
Let me double check.
yeah, that was the second quiz she's talking about.
Highest. The highest style, question number 8 was missing. But when it graded it, it showed it on there.
Okay. Well, I will check that out. Thank you for letting me know. And please, if you hit a glitch, just, if you can send a screenshot to me, I can fix it immediately, but I can only fix it. And I don't know about this because I did test the entire program before I launched it. So I have no idea why this stuff happens, but I think it happens to keep me humble because there's no other logical reason. Okay. Who has near them their workbook? I'm sorry, the participant handout. Participant handout, DiSC report, and their, oh, what is that form called, Andrea? The one I love so much. The participant impact and application form.
Yeah, insight, I think, and application.
Insight and application. All right, pull up your participant insight and application form. Please, right
Who
this
named
very
it?
second.
Who named that form anyway?
I need you to not talk, John. It's
Oh,
not
sorry.
your time yet. It's not your time. Okay, everybody's got the insight and application form in front of them. I'm going to share my screen so you know what it looks like. Can you see it on my screen? Okay, good. Well, this is what I'm going to tell you to do. I'm not telling you what I'm going to do. Take an ink pen or a pencil or a ginormous magic marker and cross out participant application insight plan instructions. Cross it out. If you really are as angry about it as I am, you can go like this and cross it out. And then above it, I want you to write learning journal. And from this moment on, we will call this stupidly named form that John didn't talk to me about before I published it. Just kidding. We will call it the learning journal. All right?
Yes.
Good. Now, you still see my thing here? I want to point out this page right here. Oh, no, no, no. I lied to you. Point out this page right here. Do you see this where it actually says learning journal? Yeah. All right. Open your form to this page. Set it on your desk next to you. And as we go through this training module, your job is to record the important things you learn in this session on that page. Now, who gets extra credit? Who already has something recorded on their learning journal? Martha, Luann, Lauren. That's it? You guys are, oh, and Kevin, go Kevin. You guys are ahead of the pack there. So I want you to always have this learning journal with you. When you do a self-study program, when you're with us, have it available so you can write your keepers down in it. And that way, when our process is over and you file your binder somewhere on a shelf, you will always keep this document to remind you of the most important things you don't want to forget. Okay. Now we're going to get into the DiSC. Could you please put your, pull out your DiSC survey, your DiSC assessment. And your handout. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Awesome. And I'm going to ask you to keep your DiSC instrument and your handout handy. And on the first page of your handout, you see it asks you to do this. You already did this previously, but we're going to do it again right now. I want you to identify from page 3 of your DiSC instrument. And if I don't specify which document you're in today, help me out. So page 3 of your DiSC instrument, you'll see a graph that looks like this, except your dot will likely be in a different place. And you're going to identify your primary style. So if your style is in this D, I, S, or C box, you know that you're a D, I, S, or C. If your style is like this one right here, what would the style be for where this dot landed?
SI.
It's an S. The first letter is the primary. And then on your worksheet, it says put your secondary style down. The secondary style is an I. So what that's telling us is this person, when they did the survey, they were mostly S, but you see their dot kind of goes into the I territory. So that is a primary and a secondary style.
Can I have this? Huh? Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Does everybody know what their primary style is?
Yes.
Okay. How many of you have a primary and a secondary style? Raise your hand. Okay, about half of you. Okay, your least developed style you have already figured out, but we're not going to deal with that today because I just want to keep it nice and simple. But your least developed style is important to know about because, and you can go ahead, it's on page 5 of your participant workbook. I'm sorry, it's on page 5 of your DiSC instrument.
Right.
Page 5 of your DiSC instrument, you'll see the thing, and your least developed style is the style that has the smallest footprint. The smallest amount of space is taken up on your least developed style. And the reason you want to know about your least developed style is because it will help you to understand that the area where you don't have a lot of strength. So now I need you to pull out your cell phone. And what I want to do is see what we've got in terms of a profile for this group. So there's a poll here. You're going to put in the, as we've done before, in the phone number space 22333. And then you can type in right here, Julie Kowalski, without the I, 621, and press send. And once you've done that, you can respond to this poll. And the poll, you are going to answer A if you're a D, B if you're an I, your primary style, S if you're, C if you're an S, and C if you're a D.
D if you're a C.
D if you're a C. And I'm a very low C.
Okay.
Press send. And this is going to tell us what our class is made up of.
I put in the wrong number.
Who said they put in the wrong number?
Me.
Luann, just do it again, Luann. Just do the correct one. Does everybody press send? It's very interesting because 38% of the population is a high what? Anybody remember from the quiz? What's the most popular style?
Supposed to be
I.
A high I. And what do we see on our thing here? I think 13% is probably going to be 1 or 2 people.
I'm one.
One.
Yeah, I'm the other.
For the most part.
We'll
Okay.
support you.
Yeah.
Okay, a lot of support from the S's. What else do we know about high S's?
Real patient.
They're very patient.
Accommodating.
Accommodating.
You're accurate.
Did you say accurate, Christy?
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, that's all right.
They do not like conflict.
Do not like conflict.
Good listener.
Okay, that one got a little warbly. Could you say it again?
Good listener.
Good listener. Thanks, Lois. Okay, what happens if we have a low number of I's?
Nothing gets accomplished.
So that's a improvise, Lauren. If we have what are 2 or 3 things guys bring to the table?
Very enthusiastic.
They're very enthusiastic. Good. What else?
They're very friendly.
They're very friendly.
They're fun.
I didn't hear that last comment.
They're fun.
They're fun. Okay, so we got enthusiasm, fun, high energy, inner eyes. So that means D's, C's, and S's, you gotta be backup, man. Lois and Royce, you're gonna have to call out your inner eye and contribute so we can have some balance here. All right, we're gonna be working with this stuff for the rest of the session. Here we are. Oh, I did have least developed style. We've already done that. Okay, John's gonna do a quick overview of the DiSC styles, and then we are going to do an exercise in your handout.
So using the screen that Julie is sharing with all of you, as we were just doing a little recap at the end, one of the things we'd like to ask all of you to do in this session and the following sessions is push yourself a little bit. So there'll be times when the homework is a lot of reading and you have to be precise and you have to follow the rules. If you're not a normal high C, I would ask you to work on that and be a little more patient. When Julie asks the question, high I's are fun, just like things you just said, and high I's tend to answer questions. So when Julie asks the question, it's not uncommon that I's or the SI's or IS's will tend to speak up. So I'm going to ask each of you that are C's and D's, speak up as well. So challenge yourself to be just a little out of your normal predominant style. So as we go through this, we're going to reference the DiSC styles periodically for weeks to come, because there's so many things that you can learn from it. Because as you can see in the words, and as you went through the homework and watched the videos, C's bring a lot of high quality. They do things precisely. They follow the process really well. And so do S's. S's just have a little more, some people say, personality. S's tend to be a little more outgoing, according to some people, but not quite to the outgoing, fun enthusiasm of a high I. And D's, as we all know, tend to be direct. They're firm. They're to the point. They're very results oriented. They tend to do things pretty fast. In fact, D's and I's have that in common. They tend to do things pretty fast most of the time. So I would just ask you to pay attention to your style. As people speak up and don't speak up, C's and S's tend to speak a little bit softer. They don't quite speak with the same inflection in their voice. So I would just ask each of you, because on a Zoom call, to have fun with this, challenge yourself a little bit, and at the same time, pay attention to how, I mean, just think about it for a second. How much of your day do you spend communicating with people on a text, live, face-to-face, you name it. So you're going to learn a lot about how to use the DiSC instrument to quickly and more effectively influence people. So we're going to have some fun with it. Be careful not to label people. Oh, he's a high D. Well, yes, he is. But high Ds also sometimes have some very precise quality characteristics. So all of us have all 4 styles embedded in us. Some just have more predominant styles than others. Julie?
Yeah, I like to look at it as this. Obviously, these are our primary styles, and but here's just another way to look at it. We all have characteristics of all these styles, and they show up at different times. So if I am behaving direct, results-oriented, firm, strong-willed, and forceful, I am acting in my high D. And that's a little bit different than saying Julie's a D. Now, we're going to probably get a little loose with that language, but that's what we want to keep in mind, is that we're all going to act in these different styles at certain points in time. And that's what's important, is to know what's the general demeanor of a person. Thanks, John. Okay, you are going to be challenged to come up with, on workbook page 3.
Yep.
we want you to take a couple seconds to identify the primary styles of these. Hi, RJ. Welcome. Hey, RJ, could you do me a favor real quick and let me know what your primary DiSC style is from your DiSC report?
Say it again.
Did you take your DiSC assessment?
Yes. Yeah.
Would you let us know what your primary style is? Where your dot is on page 3?
SP, I believe.
And just confirm it.
No, it was S. Hold on. I forget
Okay. You don't have a backup I by chance, do you?
Say it again.
Next to your S, is there another number, another letter on your circle?
There was, but I think I have.
We can come back to it.
Okay. Yeah, if you can figure that out, let us know.
Yep. Yep.
Okay. So on page 3, take a second and go through each of these different characters. Make your, they're people who you should know or know of, and make your best guess as to what their primary style is. And I'm going to leave this up on the screen in case you get stuck. This is just kind of a little cheat sheet for you. So what this is saying is what John reviewed. If a person is active, fast-paced, assertive, dynamic, and bold, they're going to be on the top of this grid. They'll be a D or an I. If they're thoughtful, more moderately paced, and calm, more methodical, they're going to be a C or an S. If they're more accepting, people-focused, empathizing, and receptive, they're going to be an I or an S. And if they're questioning, logic-focused, skeptical, challenging, they're going to be a D or a C. So if you get stuck, you can refer to this chart here. And John's going to debrief this after you have a couple minutes to take your best guess. And Andy and I are going to check out for just a couple minutes to set up our next group.
So you have 41 seconds to complete your guess on the 8 names on page 3. RJ, we're in the participant handout document on page 3.
Okay.
And we're asking people to give us their best guess using the guide on your screen, your best guess for Simon Cowell, Mother Teresa, etc. So if you have all 8 of them, raise your hand real quick. Not yet. Okay. You have 12 more seconds. That's the high D in me. Come on, pick up the pace. Okay, let's guess together. Based on your either watching the TV show or something you may know or just a guess, what would you guess Simon Cowell's primary style is of the 4 styles?
D.
D. D as in David?
Yes.
Okay, good guess. Yes. Tends to be rather controlling, dominating, direct. He's the person the fans boo the most. He doesn't mind being direct and or some people would even say on occasion mean. Mother Teresa, what would your guess?
I.
F.
Yes.
I.
I keep hearing that I voice, but in this case it's S and Sam.
Oh, yeah.
Mother Teresa, very steady, calm demeanor, not particularly loud, never been known to be blunt or direct, good people skills, but steady. Steady is a good word to remember S. Mr.
C.
Aye.
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 So are we watching the same Mr. Spock that I used to watch?
This Star Trek?
I said
Star Trek, Mr. Spock.
I'm going to say C.
C, you're right, Tom. So when you think of a high C personality, they tend to be very calm, low demeanor, very quiet, very reserved, rarely changes facial expressions, very consistent, attention to detail. If I remember correctly, he was an engineer on Starship. Hillary Clinton.
D.
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 Yep.
D. D. Definitely.
Forceful, dominating, powerful lady. That was a gimme in golf terms. High D for Hillary.
John,
Her husband, yes.
quick question. Would you consider her a different personality in the 90s when she was the first lady?
Well, it's actually funny you raised the question. Yes, very possibly. And also one of the things that we get exposed to when we use famous names. For example, I've done this exercise and used Oprah. And people think of her as happy-go-lucky and friendly. She's like an Ellen DeGeneres. She's so happy-go-lucky. That's who she is on TV.
Right.
Who she really is. Oprah is a driving, demanding control freak.
Yep.
And so sometimes we just have a perception that we've created based on the character they want us to see. Hillary Clinton we covered. How about her husband, Bill? We said Hillary's a high D.
Aye.
Aye. I say aye.
Aye. Yep, always smiling, happy-go-lucky, golly. Barbara Bush.
C. C.
C.
Or?
Yes.
Yes. She's had quite a number of instances. If you can reflect back when she was in the TV and her husband was president, etc. There were lots of instances where her personality would be talked about on television or from reporters. So S is the answer for Barbara Bush. Albert Einstein, if you were to guess. None of us know him personally.
C.
C. Yeah. Very attention to quality, scientist, really kind of being a brilliant mind, studying all the time, head buried in books. Remind you of some of the characteristics of, for example, CPAs tend to have an awful lot of that C personality. And Robin Williams.
Aye.
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 Definitely aye.
I mean, everything all of us know about Robin Williams, he didn't have a serious bone in his body. Again, just it helps us. And as we do a quick debrief, using page 3 of one of the handouts you received, I want to reemphasize all of us have natural tendencies. Under pressure situations, most of us will default to our normal high, whichever profile you bring the strongest. Julie, when you get a moment, if you could bring back up on the screen that guide on page 3 that shows the 4 styles. But I's and D's tend to do things faster. So if you walk into somebody's office or some customer calls you and says, "Hi, my name's John. I want to talk to you about a problem." If they're talking fast, you can quickly pick up on the fact that they're a D or an I personality literally within seconds. As compared to somebody else calls you, "Hi, my name's John Lankford. I'd like to speak to Hayden Lee. We're having a problem out here at one of our sites, and I'd like to speak to the owner." When people talk in a more calm voice, more steady, not as loud, not as fast, you can quickly begin to read people's tendency. You can get close. And then here's the magic doing the debrief. And we're going to talk about this more in the future. You spend half or 3/4 of your day communicating with people. And you ever go home at the end of the day and you're shaking your head and say, "Why can't I get Bob to do blah, blah, blah?" Told him 4 times. Sometimes in our communication style, when we just go through life being us, when Kevin goes through life being Kevin, and sometimes his communication style connects with people, and sometimes it doesn't. Or Tom has to have a difficult conversation with somebody, and he's saying to himself, as he's driving home that night, I'm not sure I got my point across to that person. If you can learn to adjust your style, if you can imagine these 4 colored pie graphs as a tile on the dashboard of your car, if you can learn to adjust somewhat to the style that you think would work for them, you will find that your communication is more effective more frequently. And so if you can begin to learn how to read people using this DiSC instrument and learning some of the fundamentals that this graph, because some people just do things fast. There's people in your company that just simply walk down the hall fast, and they say hello fast, and they shake hands fast, and they eat lunch in 10 minutes, not 30 minutes. There's just some people that do things faster, and then you have some employees who are also methodical, very calm, very careful, very meticulous, and they tend to do things slower. That's not right or wrong. It's not good or bad. It's just how they go through life. And so if you can learn to read people, you will find your ability as a manager, a supervisor, a mom, or a dad, you'll find your ability to influence people to be easier if you choose to adjust your style sometimes. So one of the things Julie and I just learned, one of the reasons we stopped and took the time to figure out who are you as a group, is that we learned that about 2/3 of this audience are S's or C's. Now, based on what I just said, if 2/3 of you were I's and D's, we'd be going through the modules faster because Julie and I have a lot of D and I in our personalities. That's easy for us. So we're going to slow down because 2/3 of you are S's or C's is your predominant style. So a lot of attention to quality. You're going to find every typo, if there is one, in the next 6 months. A video that wasn't perfect because you pay attention, you see that quality. And so we're going to adjust our delivery style for the rest of the curriculum based on you, the customer. Now, so I's and D's, we'll have some fun with it. So get over it. We'll have fun with this. But it's just another example of learning how to influence, because leadership is about influencing people. And so D's send emails differently than S's and C's, and I's don't bother sending an email because it takes too long. They'll just pick up the phone, leave somebody a 4-second message, and think they did a heck of a job communicating. So we'll have fun with this in the weeks ahead, but that's just a quickie overview. So Julie, back to you.
Thanks, John. Okay, we are going to move into an activity. Sure we are. Okay. The purpose of this activity is to give you a chance to look at how the 4 styles relate to different situations differently. And so what we're going to do is we're going to break you off into a small group, and you're going to fill out a worksheet. You'll have 10 minutes, and you'll each be assigned a specific experience that all of you might encounter. And what we're going to want you to do is say, in this instance, I think that a D would handle this situation this way, and an I would handle this situation that way. And I'm going to give you a real life situation that happened to me. And I want you to think about it and determine how the different styles might respond. So it's a Friday morning. I'm at home, hanging out, getting stuff done in my house, and I pick up a phone call, and it's an old client of mine, a former client of mine, and he says, "What are you doing this weekend?" And I said, "Why do you ask?" And he said, "I have a big conference going on in California Saturday and Sunday. My trainer was in a car accident. She can't do the training. And I am wondering if you would be willing to get on a plane and show up here to deliver that class and really bail me out of a problem. Oh, and by the way, if you come, bring your family. I'll pay for their expenses, and I will also send the whole family to 2 days to Disney, all expenses paid. What do you think? What's a high D going to do in that situation?
This is where someone would answer.
Go for it. They wouldn't think about it twice.
No, they won't.
Heidi, want to think about it twice?
No.
Would they ask any questions?
Not really,
No.
because they're not detail oriented.
Go, Martha. Go, Martha.
They might ask how much.
Mhm.
And what else might they ask, Latasha? You're a D. What else might you ask?
I don't know.
You
Yeah.
see
Okay.
you see the lack of detail? He said that all expenses were paid, so why would you ask how much?
There you go. Well, you get paid for the conference too. Okay. So, but the D is going to ask a lot of questions, right? What's the high I going to do?
Their socials, are they're gonna want to actually take the family on a trip?
Okay, they're going to get excited. Oh my gosh, free trip, my family, it's Disney. Are they going to check their calendar?
No.
Probably not, right?
Mhm.
Are they going to ask what the topic is?
No.
Probably not. They're going to want to get off the phone and start, and when they make their phone reservation, they're going to tell the person, I'm making this at the last minute because I got this special treat, and blah, 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 blah. They're going to be all excited. What's the high F going to do?
Ask questions.
Okay, what kind of questions?
How long? When we returning?
Okay. When we returning, how long? Now it's Friday morning, and this is happening on Saturday. Is the high S going to be, yeah, I want to do this, because we know right away. The D is going to probably be all in, and the I is going to be all in, right? Is the S going to be all in, or is the S going to need a little bit more motivation?
They don't need
More
time.
motivation.
Yep, more
Yeah.
motivation.
Yeah, they're going to be a little bit rattled.
Yep.
What's the high C going to do?
They're gonna ask all the questions.
Yeah, like what?
Why, what the conference is about, how long the conference is gonna take, where they're gonna be staying.
What airport they fly into?
Oh, yes.
Right, who's the audience? They're going to be asking all of those questions.
As a C, I would be thinking of all the reasons why I can get out of it.
You can think about yeah, well, because C's
My
that's right. C's are not all that happy about the change either. So this is a story that actually happened to me. My primary style is I did exactly what I described. Now, my little 5-year-old son comes home from kindergarten and he sees his bags packed at the door. So he walks in the door, he sees his bags and he says, "What's that?" And I said, "We're going to Disney. We're going to California. This is so exciting." And I start telling him the whole story and he's just looking like a deer in the headlights. And he says, "Mom, I was planning to play Legos this weekend." And I said, "Yeah, but honey, it's Disney. You know, free Mickey, Minnie, blah, 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 blah." He says, "I was really looking forward to playing Legos." And I drag this reluctant child on a plane, and it takes him about 24 hours before he realizes this has happened and he better engage with it. What is my son?
D.
He's not a D.
No.
C.
Like a C.
He's a C.
He's a C.
He's a
Yes.
C.
Yes.
He's an S.
He's a C or an S.
And
Yeah, my
pouting.
son. What's that, John?
And pouting.
And pouting. Yes.
I think
Because
it's
what was most disturbing to him?
Change his plans.
The
Change of
change.
plan.
It was
Change
halfway
plans.
like
And
Change.
which style has the most problem with the change in plans?
C.
C.
No, it's the S.
C.
huh?
S.
No,
My
S.
S's
Really?
are the most reluctant to change.
S.
And she's like, "Wait a minute, don't change this on me. I thought it was," just teasing back.
Okay.
It's your setting on the screen.
Okay. All right. Well, there we go. I got everybody. So let's do a quick debrief. Regardless of what group you're in, just kind of take yourselves off mute right now so we don't have to deal with that. And hopefully the noise won't get us. what did you find easy about this exercise? So just kind of pop your hand up, tell us your first name, and go. What did you find easy?
This
Royce. Royce. Then Vinny, then RJ. What did you find easy about this activity?
It was easy to get done because we all worked in a group and it was pertaining to our style. Well, for me it was because I was a I.
Okay.
So I was able to give that example.
All right, thank you. Vinny, and then RJ, you're next. What else? What did you enjoy about the activity? What did you find easy?
Well, I mean, I was pretty much going to say the same thing that Royce just said. I found it very easy to describe a high C because that's exactly what I am.
Okay.
So, yeah.
All right, and we love you anyway. Anything you would add? I'm an I, by the way, so I'll make jokes once in a while. RJ, anything you would add?
I found it easy for noticing a high D because my boss was a high D and he was very demanding, quick to the point. I'm the total opposite.
Okay, all right. Lauren, what did you find? What's something you learned from this activity? Is there a little nugget that you'll take away from just spending a few minutes with the group and doing this activity?
Probably learning.
Hayden, you're next.
I applied it to what I go through. Like, I'm an I. How would I approach my days? We had, group 4, and just learning, I guess, how to try to work amongst the other groups better.
Okay. Okay.
Falling for
All
colleagues or people that you work with, your employees, because everybody's different.
Okay, thank you. Everybody is different to a degree. Hayden, then Tom. Hayden, something you took away from this?
If I'm going to be dead honest, I found this one a little troubling to figure out. I think it's mainly the prompt, the question. But we just did the same thing like everyone else, started with what we are, started with our style and answered for us, and then collaborated.
Okay.
What was your question, Hayden?
It was, how does each style manage unreasonable requests from their leader?
And what was challenging about it?
Well, first I didn't even read manage properly. I read it as respond. So all my answers, or all of our answers at first, were for responding to unreasonable requests. So it was just kind of a miscommunication on my end.
Cool. Thank you. All right. Thank you. Tom, what's one nugget you took away from the exercise?
Well, first thing I wanted to let everybody know is I overanalyzed the question. I mean, I can read that question 2 or 3 different ways.
Tom, we knew that about you.
But
Tom, tell everybody what your highest letter is.
C.
And repeat your opening sentence.
Overanalyze.
Okay, thank you. We're going to keep doing this. Thank you.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Yeah, but once you kind of get past that, it's a little bit easier because I use my sheet here to help. But if you think like the high D's and each letter, the D, I, S, C, how each one of them are in general, it's fairly easy to at least give some idea how they're going to respond.
Yep.
In other words, the high D is they're gonna get it done quickly, regardless of how accurate it is. They're gonna get through it.
Right.
The high I is gonna say, "Oh yeah, no problem," and again, whether it gets done right or not, they will have that over-optimistic view. They can get anything done regardless of the instruction.
Is everybody really paying attention to his reading us his answers for all 4? Because that's what a high C would do, right? He stopped answering the question about 4 minutes ago.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep having fun with this. Kevin, what are you taking away? I had to interrupt you, Tom. It's way too funny. Kevin, what was one nugget you took away from this activity?
I was saying the same thing when it first started off. Is right when you went to the room, everybody automatically went to their whatever they are, and then it was just because the whole exercise, you're not really thinking about an I, S, or a C if you're a D. You're only thinking about the D, and everyone else kind of thought the same way. So it's kind of funny that everyone pretty much had the same concept. Just focus on what you are, and that's just that's what I noticed from this whole thing. That's how I kind of did when I first started watching, going through all this class for this. I'm more focused on what the D was doing. And then later I had to go back and say, what did it say about the I, the S, and the C? Because it kind of like didn't really matter because you was focusing on whatever you are and trying to.
And what is your letter, Kevin?
I'm a D.
D.
A D. All right. Martha, real quickly, your comment, and I'm going to switch.
The S kicked in and me, we went in a systematic way, and I still at the end asked everybody how, if they agreed with what was saying, if we needed to add or subtract anything to accommodate everybody's answers.
So did everybody hear what Martha just said? Before they adjourned, she had to ask everybody, everybody okay with our answers? Because she likes consistency, she likes harmony, she wanted to make sure everybody was okay. And we're going to keep doing that. And by the way, while all of you are on camera, you will notice that D's tend to act in a certain way and C's tend to act in a certain way. If you look at the room behind them, you will see that C's tend to be more organized. I's aren't paying attention. They're flipping their hair and doing things and having fun and talking to their kids. You'll be able to see it on our screens, how people dress. I mean, it's kind of funny when you start having fun with it. Switch to the team activity with me real quickly, which is on page 7 of your handout. If you can perhaps bring that screen up. We're going to do something. We're not going to send you anywhere. So I'm going to need you to speak into your microphone, turn up your D just a little bit. And I'd like to ask you to think about how these styles, any style, doesn't have to be your style, helps or hinders the team. All of you are part of a team. So let me ask you real quickly, make your answer short, high D-like, to the point. What is the strength of a high D when it comes to bringing something to the team? How do they help a team? What does a high D do for a team?
Get it done.
They get it done. What else?
Keep the whole team moving forward.
Get the team moving forward. They tend to motivate people. They tend to do things faster. They deliver results. That's good news. On the bad news, how do high Ds oftentimes hinder a team?
Lack of instruction.
Lack of instruction. What else?
Impatience.
Impatient. Sometimes forceful.
Sometimes they don't want to focus on the ideas of the other people. They just want to just kind of do it their way.
Yeah, because they really don't care. All right, let's go to the high I's for a moment. How do high I I'm sorry, Julie, what?
I said sometimes, Kevin. Sometimes D's don't want to focus on the other style. Uh-huh.
Right. High I personalities. How do high I personalities, we have a couple, how do they bring strength to the team? What do they do in a positive note?
Motivate.
They motivate, yes?
Get
excited.
mood.
Think started. What else?
Influence.
Speak into your mic. Come on, everybody.
Get excited.
All right, going.
Excited. What else? Stacy, what do high I's bring to the team?
Energy.
I'm sorry?
Optimistic.
Energy.
Optimistic, energy, excitement, fun, speed. That's the good news.
Encouragement.
What's the challenge with high I's on a team sometimes?
Socialization.
I'm
Short
sorry?
attention span.
Short attention span.
Socialization.
Martha, I'm not quite understanding your word.
Socializing.
Socializing. Yes, thank you. Thank you. What else?
Harnessing their energy.
Harnessing their energy. They can be a bumblebee all over the place.
Follow through.
Hayden, what else?
Follow through.
Follow through. Yep. S's. What is the strength that an S will bring to the team?
Support.
Support.
Dependability.
Dependability, consistency. What else, RJ? Vinny?
My biggest thing, I would say level-headed. They don't get mad.
Level-headed. That's a good choice of words. Vinny?
Stay focused.
Reassurance.
I'm sorry?
Reassurance.
Reassurance.
Good
That's the
listening.
good news. That's the good news. Nick, I'm coming to you. So if those are strengths of an S for a team, what limitations, what challenges do S's bring to a team? Sometimes. Nick?
They avoid pressure.
They avoid pressure.
So it's
They're overly accommodating.
Overly accommodating.
Can adapt.
Yes. Sometimes slow. What
Think
else?
about what others think.
I'm sorry, say it again.
Think about what others, the other team thinks.
Yeah, yeah. Tom, what else? What are some of the limitations of an S when it comes to the team?
Difficulty prioritizing, maybe?
Yep, yep, okay. Takes them about 15 minutes to order pizza and all they want is pepperoni. I mean, they tend to do everything slower. C's, let's move to the C personality. So what does C's bring to a team that's really important for the success of a team? What are their strengths?
Accuracy.
Yes, what else? Lois?
I said accuracy.
Accuracy, yep. Frank, what else?
Methodical.
Methodical?
Yeah.
Yep, methodical. Christy?
Sorry, I'm not. My brain's not working today.
That's all right. Didn't mean to wake you. All right, that's all right. Keep going, everybody. That
They're
was the
gonna
irony,
find
by the way.
They're
What
going to
else?
find the best way to complete the task.
Yes. All right.
They're
Anything?
goal oriented.
Let's see. Ivana? You're on mute.
Sorry, my dog is making a lot of noise.
Okay, the old dog trick. That's a new one nobody's tried yet. The
Yeah,
old blame it on the
sorry.
dog. Lauren, since you don't have a dog in the
It was-
room with you, what are one of the limitations of a C to a team?
Oh, well, let's see. They could overanalyze, maybe.
Yes. All right, let's go to the other side of the coin, and then we're going to debrief the day. So when it comes to a C, those are some of their strengths. What's two more weaknesses that a high C will bring to a team? Lauren?
Oh, that was the wrong answer. The overanalyze.
No,
That's
overanalyzing
okay.
is the right answer for that column. Yep.
Okay.
That's not a negative.
Yep, she just beat me to the punch, that's all. Lauren, what else? What's one of the challenges a high C brings to the team?
Oh, let's see. Well, I work with a high C, so let's see.
Okay, so you met one once. How about
Yeah.
Luann? Luann,
Yes.
what's one of the challenges a high C brings to a team?
Well, I don't know if this is true of a high C, but I'm very impatient and I am a high C.
Okay, we love you anyway.
Thank you.
Martha, what's one of the limitations of a high C personality to a team?
Slow pace.
Yes, yes. Latasha, anything you would add? Latasha, get back here.
Oh, sorry.
That's all right, I can see you, remember?
Yes. And a negative, you're saying?
Yes, ma'am.
I think everybody pretty much said it. I was going to say overanalyze. I mean, overanalyze can be good and bad at the same time.
It can sometimes, and that's a good point to wrap up on. Some of times a strength, this is a good note for you, for those of you that take notes. Anytime you have a strength to do on any of the styles, a strength, if sometimes overused, can become a weakness. Like it can be really great to be a great planner, but not if it gets to the point where you don't ever get anything done. So we'll keep integrating DiSC and having fun with it. Please don't be offended when we pick on you and say things that's just make a point. We're all here to learn and create a safe environment. Julie, final debrief comments before I have a couple final to say?
Yeah. No, I guess not. Jeez. This one helps me. Okay. We're not going to take time in this call, but I would like you to pull out your learning log. And before you move from your seat, I would like you to incorporate at least 2 takeaways from today's session in your learning log. That's all you need to do is to incorporate that. I want to let you know that next week is another virtual session. It's a review of the DiSC. It's taking it to another level. So if you haven't finished your first self-study, Easy Generator study, please do that. Also, next Thursday, we have a bonus call. And the bonus call is something that is not associated with any other self-study. There's no PowerPoint, there's no groups, there's no polls. We're going to talk with you about how to plan your day, how to work efficiently. And we're going to also use that as a forum to answer any specific challenges you're having back on the job that you could use some insight on. So I want to give you some perspective for this. John and I have these calls for a living with our clients. They pay a few $100s for these calls. So that's because we're really good at what we do, and this is an offer for you. So join us if you wish. If you have a problem, bring it. If you want to send your problem in advance, feel free to do that so we can have some time to think about it. But that's what this is. It's like an open mic with a focus on how we can help you make time in your day for what you need to make time for. And I believe that's all that I have to share with you today. Make sure you put leave in your text message box, and you will be getting a package from us the next day or so. Please take a few minutes to organize your stuff so that it's all available to you and you're not flipping through all these different pieces of paper. There's tabs, file your stuff.
With that, I have just a couple comments I'd like to plant a seed with all of you. So we will keep referencing the DiSC instrument throughout the sessions. I want to emphasize a couple points. We are here to challenge you and to help you grow as a leader. And so sometimes we'll do that by poking you. Sometimes we'll send you a text. Sometimes we'll call on you. We'll go back to paying attention and not talking to your dog. We'll do a variety of things to challenge you to get the most out of this you can. Except we can only poke so much. So I'm going to ask all of you to take it up a notch on the personal ownership side of how you do your work, how you block time, how you respond to Julie's emails or my email. They're usually from Julie. When you read the email, make sure you read it in its entirety. If we ask you to respond, give us a quick response. It usually only takes a moment. But we've struggled with that. So as we were planning for today, a day before today, about half of you hadn't even completed your DiSC assessment yet. So I would just ask you, because we monitor that. So I would just ask you, please, and some of you did, so great job. And even if you did it last night or today, that's still good. But we're watching how you participate and where you're strong and where you're following instructions, where you're not. But our goal is to help you come out of this a stronger leader. And so on next week's call, as Julie mentioned, there's no pre-work, there's no PowerPoint slides, we're not sending you breakout rooms. We're gonna have a group conversation like we're doing right now and talk about some things to help you become a better leader, manage your day more effectively, get work done through others better, plan your time more effectively so that you can keep learning. So whether you retire in a year or go start your own company in 2 years, what we're giving you are some basics, leadership skills and tools to become more effective and to be stronger and to be more influential and not have to tell that same person 3 times to get something done for you. And at the end of the day, the ownership's with you. And at the end of the day, you get to decide every day when you come to work, am I coming to work today to do my job and go home and be an average employee or an average supervisor? Or am I coming today to be above average? So when you think about where you're setting the bar for yourself, I would just ask you, please allow us to keep nudging you. And each one of us, including Julie and I, continues to learn and grow. And we had a little hiccup that we needed to work through, but we'll work through those because things come up at work that throw curveballs at us. So we'll adapt. We'll keep having fun with it. Please don't ever get offended. Julie and I have both a lot of I in our personalities, so there'll be some laughter along the way. But I need you to help own doing your homework, challenging yourself, be patient, even if it's a long video, and just bring 100% of you to our hour and a half every other week, please. Next week's an open mic. So next week's just kind of a live coaching session. So just be prepared to take notes, have a glass of water or your favorite refreshment, ask your dog to go in the other room, and we'll have some fun together. Okay? So just ready to bring it from now on up a notch. Okay?
Thank you, John.
With that, Julie, a final word before?
No, just a final word. I'm sorry that it got so chaotic for you today. And I want to tell you that part of the chaos was John and I are paying attention to your engagement, and we're trying to make things as simple and as uncomplicated as possible for you, which is why we made the decision to change our materials to simplify them so we could have a smoother experience. That was our part, changing horses in the middle of the stream. Your part is when I write in an email, please read this email carefully. What do you think that means? Does
Take
that
the-
mean skim it?
No.
Oh, I want you, you know, we take you seriously and we need you to take us seriously. If I ask you to read an email carefully because changes have been made, please do it, because that was the other part, is we had to struggle with people having the wrong handouts. And also, I beg you, if you run into a problem with Easy Generator, don't wait until this call to get here, because I can update Easy Generator at any second in time if I know there's a problem. So the minute you run into a problem, pick up your email, send me an email, do a screenshot if you're able, and let me know so we can all work together to make this happen. Because this is not a normal way of learning for you guys. It's not a normal way of teaching for us, and we all have to make the best use of our 90 minutes today. That said, I want to thank all of you for being here today. You showed up, you played to win, you did a great job, and I really, really appreciate that. It is a joy for me to work with you, and I think for John as well. So thank you for your time and your effort today.
You're welcome.
Bye, everybody.
you.
Bye,
Bye.
everybody.
Stay
Have a great
safe.
weekend.
You
Thank
too.
you. Got a thank you note. Thank you.